In the sleepy Bavarian hamlet of Manching, under the sort of foggy November sky that inspires Wagnerian dramas, something remarkable and diabolical is underfoot. A group of thieves executed a theft so swift, so precise, so eerily well-timed that it left not only law enforcement puzzled, but the numismatic community gutted, literally and figuratively. The heist? Not for money, as such, not for gold bars or even bearer bonds. No, what was taken was history itself. Specifically, 483 ancient Celtic gold staters, struck sometime around 100 BCE, and exhumed from the soil in 1999 after laying quietly underground for 2 millennia, and like a poorly designed token game at a carnival, the coins were gone in 9 minutes flat. Now, let's not kid ourselves, this wasn't just petty theft. These weren't loose change or back-of-the-drawer ancients. These were the largest trove of Celtic gold coins ever discovered in the 20th century, found buried near what was once a fortified Celtic oppidum, or a proto-city for lack of a more appropriate word, near Manching in Bavaria. The staters themselves, struck in a high-carat electrum blend, bore stylized horses and mysterious geometric flourishes. The hoard weighed in at approximately 3.7 kilograms of nearly pure gold, and had sat comfortably at the Celtic and Roman Museum in Manching, a place that presumably expected to have fewer James Bond plots unfold within their premises. But on the night of November 22nd, 2022, under the cover of darkness, the thieves cut a telecom cable, effectively shutting down the entire museum's alarm system and phone lines in one foul swoop. No signals out, no calls for help, no triggered alarms, and not a guard in sight. Just a window of utter vulnerability, a 9-minute vacuum into which they inserted themselves and disappeared with an entire cache. Yes, this was literally Ocean's 11, if the cast had metal detectors and a thing for late Iron Age tribal currency. Fast forward to July 29th, 2025, after a lengthy investigation and surveillance operations that tied them to over 20 previous museum heists as well as warehouse thefts, these 3 men were convicted by a German court in Ingolstadt. The sentences ranged from 4 years and 9 months to 11 years. But here is the true numismatic tragedy. When one of these suspects was apprehended, investigators found melted blobs of gold in his possession. Laboratory analysis confirmed what every coin collector would fear: these staters had been melted down. Gone were the obverse and reverse, the horse and rider motifs, the traces of Gaulish tribal identity, all rendered into anonymous gold bullion. You can almost hear the collective groan of archaeologists, historians, and collectors echoing throughout time. As Rupert Gebhardt, head of the Bavarian State Archaeological Collection, grimly noted, this is the worst case scenario. Each coin in that hoard was a direct link and dialogue with the past, possibly minted by the Vedelici or the Boyan tribes. These were not just tokens of trade. They were ceremonial, political, even spiritual. And now, thanks to basal greed and a set of bolt cutters, they're indistinguishable from fillings in someone's grill. Now, as for value, the hoard had been conservatively estimated at around 1.6 million euros. But let's be clear, that's just a rough value. On the numismatic market, even common Celtic staters with full details can fetch anywhere from $3,000 to $15,000 apiece. And these were anything but common. An intact hoard of this provenance, especially one excavated under proper archaeological context, is functionally irreplaceable. And yes, if you're wondering, a few of the coins may still be out there. Some melted, some perhaps sold, some Perhaps, if fate is kind, hiding in plain sight. And this isn't the first time German cultural heritage has vanished into the criminal ether. Let's not forget the Green Vault heist from Dresden in 2019, or the infamous Big Maple Leaf theft from Berlin's Bode Museum in 2017, both of which involved high-value precious metal objects and increasingly suspicion that melted gold is the endgame for this sort of theft. Why? Well, because a smelted coin doesn't testify. It's completely anonymous. It's laundering in elemental form, a damaging loss for numismatics. In other words, not just of value, but of narrative. As is often said, once melted, a coin can no longer tell its story. And when stories disappear, the culture they represent vanishes along with them. As a collector or scholar, we know that coins are more than just bullion. Each stater was a conversation with antiquity. So what do we learn from this gilded tragedy? First, for goodness sake, why do museums not have better security? Second, melt value does not equate to market value and makes a poor barometer for true value. And third, once the past is destroyed merely for basal profit, it never truly returns in full. These weren't just coins. They were Celtic whispers from a nearly forgotten age, now rendered silent in flame. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman on a somewhat somber note, saying thank you for watching, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.